So you've pressed on this video because you want to improve your aim, but you don't have the slightest clue on how to. In this video, I'll show you what tasks to perform and go into detail on how to improve it. Aiming is as simple or as complicated as you can make it. It can be as simple as put your hand on the mouse and move it, or what I'm about to show you, going into the technical side and understand the individual aspects of aiming. However, there are some things I have to point out in the start. Firstly, being your mouse. The mouse is very important. You need to be able to feel comfortable and able to freely move the mouse as if it was an extension of you. Finding mice is quite difficult, but I have put up a list of what you could use depending on your hand size. Secondly is sensitivity. There is a perfect sensitivity for everyone. However, you can't rely on one sensitivity for all games. For example, Valorant is a much slower paced game than Apex. Apex requires a faster sensitivity in order to play. In my opinion, to find a good sensitivity, take a pro player sensitivity in DPI, fiddle around with it until it's comfortable with you. Remember, pro player sensitivity won't be perfect for you, but you can adjust it. Just take it as a base sensitivity and go from there. Thirdly, the program we are going to use is AimLabs. It's completely free and accessible as long as you have Steam downloaded, it's yours, and they have a variety of settings for different games. Now that we got smaller details out of the way, you're comfortable with your mouse, you got a sensitivity you're comfortable using, let's get on with the main video. When you get into the technical side of aiming, you'll realize that it's not just simply moving a mouse. It's a combination of different aspects that lead to the overall product. These different aspects include flicking, tracking, speed, precision, cognition, perception. Now, cognition and perception comes on the reaction timing, but it doesn't matter that much. All of these aspects will come into play with each other, and you realize this while doing the tasks I recommend. The first aspect is flicking. It's that quick, fast-paced movement you see people do to headshot someone like this. Flicking is a good way to start. It is one of two aspects that builds the foundation of having good aim. For flicking, the task I recommend is line trace. Line trace is the bread and butter. You'll find using line trace in every single other aspect. It is what gives you that crispy, smooth aim. After practicing line trace, you should move on to grid shot. This is where you can start to see line tracing coming into play. When first starting grid shot or line trace, take your time and then slowly increase your speed. Don't go gun-ho at the start and go as fast as you can. Make sure you take it as slow and make it more difficult as you go. Remember, you're not playing for score, you're playing to improve your aim. The second aspect is tracking. This is the second aspect that builds your foundation. Tracking is good for games like Valorant, Apex, or any fast-paced shooting games. For tracking, we start off with strafe track. This will build up your base tracking ability. To up the difficulty when you're comfortable, we move on to switch shot. This is to build muscle memory and timing on when to shoot. Then after, we move on to switch track. This will incorporate flicking into your tracking, working on both foundations. Remember to keep repeating all tasks to build your muscle memory. Muscle memory is very important. The third aspect is speed. This is where the difficulty starts to ramp up. This aspect is to improve how fast you can perform your flicks and transitioning into tracking. The first task I recommend is motion shot. Remember to take it slow at first, then gradually increase your speed as it becomes more easier. This will improve both your flicking and smoothing out your line tracing. It also helps you learn how to adjust the timings from different games and when to shoot. The second task I recommend is burst flick. This can help you adjust to your sensitivity, and it also helps you to see if you're over flicking or under flicking. This is a step closer to finding your perfect sensitivity or have a better understanding of the one you have now. The fourth aspect is precision. Now that you've increased your speed, it's time to make it more precise. This will give your aim that crispy, smooth feel. The first task I recommend is reflex shot. As you speed up and hit the dots will decrease in size, making it much more difficult to hit. However, it will teach you how to flick onto smaller targets like sniping with Widowmaker. The second task I recommend is spider shot. Same thing applies. Speed up and the dots will decrease in size. This will help you adjust to smaller targets while flicking with speed. The last aspect is perception/cognition. Both of these can come on the reaction time. You can have the greatest aim in the world, but without the reaction aspect, it's meaningless. The only task I recommend here is decision shot, speed or precision. It helps you identify or react to a specific color ball. This helps you in games because if you can identify when an enemy appears, you can flick onto them faster than they can react. Because if you have a faster reaction time than your enemy, you'll most likely get the first shot off. By practicing all these aspects, your general aim level will improve. After you feel comfortable, I recommend 6-shot task to combine majority of the aspects together and further develop them. To summarize, all of these aspects will come into play and intertwine. You'll quickly notice this, or you already have noticed this when performing the tasks. I personally recommend practicing all these tasks before a play session or after a play session in order to build up that muscle memory. Muscle memory is the most important part. You do it so often that you can just perform it without much thought. By the way, I do stream on Twitch, just on Self14, link in the description. Well, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. If there's any questions, please leave them below in the comments below. I'll happily answer them. Thank you.